This summer, the Austin Gilbert and Sullivan Society will present one of the most melodic and certainly one of the most humorous of all of the Gilbert and Sullivan operas. It's Patience, or Bunthorne's Bride, a delightful tale of milkmaids, dragoon guards, languorous ladies, and sham poets. It'll be presented at the Brentwood Christian School Theater on North Lamar, the 7th through the 17th of June. Patience is one of the most colorful of all the Gilbert and Sullivan operas, and audiences of all ages will take great delight in this funny, tuneful tale. Patience was written in 1881, just after the great Gilbert and Sullivan successes of HMS Pinafore and the Pirates of Penzance. Sullivan was at the height of his musical prowess, and Gilbert was never funnier. Gilbert had had fun with making fun of Her Majesty's Royal Navy, the police force, and even the House of Peers. With Patience, he turned his attention to artistic pretension, particularly an odd fellow that had just come up from Oxford and was making a name for himself by his wearing about town his fancy dress and carrying a lily. His name was Oscar Wilde. A lot of people imitated Wilde, what he wore, how he spoke. Patience makes fun of those folks who adopted his way of speaking and way of dressing without really understanding his views on aestheticism. Consequently, Patience concerns itself with a chorus of languid ladies who regard themselves as so aesthetic, and they're beautifully contrasted with Patience, who is just an unsophisticated, untutored dairymaid. Patience is filled with the kind of music we expect in a Gilbert and Sullivan opera. There's a wonderful Act I finale, very operatic, quirky little dances with funny duets in Act II, and a duet at the end of Act I that all of Austin is going to be whistling as they leave the theater. Gilbert, always a man of the theater, knew how to use contrast. He set Act I outside Castle Bunthorne, and then he took Act II even further into rural England, and his setting is a glade. These two naturalistic settings are beautifully contrasted with the muted colors that these aesthetic maidens wear and the scarlet uniforms worn by their former boyfriends, the 35th Dragoon Guards. Patience will run June 7th through the 17th at the theater at Brentwood Christian School. There will be 9 performances between the 7th and 17th of June. Evening performances of Patience begin at 8 p.m. with weekend matinees beginning at 3. There's also a special children's matinee, always a highlight of our Austin run. Children get to meet the actors, are introduced to the orchestra, and there are special activities in the lobby that relate to the show. The Austin Gilbert and Sullivan Society is very pleased to be performing at the Brentwood Christian School Theater, a brand new facility with orchestra pit, convenient parking, and it's an aesthetic gem. Patience has a subtitle. It's called Patience, or Bunthorne's Bride. The question is, and it's a trick question, who will be Bunthorne's bride? Come and find out for yourself.